Good evening. It's Tom Stoukas coming to you from Sarnia, Ontario on this beautiful Sunday night, July 20th, 2025. Uh, so they caught we were tracking this last couple nights, this horrible murder of a 71-year-old woman in North York. And they finally made an arrest after a couple days of a 14-year-old suspect. Uh, but before the arrest, he managed to get on social media and do like a kind of an interview on what he did. And he basically confessed to killing her, and it was just you couldn't believe it's real. So we'll look at that, and it should be interesting. This case now, his identity is hidden, so they can't talk or show his picture or anything on the news. But he's a young offender now, which is bullshit. Like the kid's a punk, and they should treat him like an adult if he's going to do stuff like that. So we'll see where that goes. Horrible stuff. Hopefully, it doesn't. This doesn't keep happening. We don't know how many of these animals are running around the GTA. They don't obviously value life, because if they're gonna stab a poor old lady over like a car to jack her car or something, if they're gonna stab her, I think there's no helping people like that. So while all this is going on, haven't heard a word from Doug Ford about this. You would think, and the funny thing is, this kid is probably from his riding in Rexdale or something, like probably a bunch of punks there. So, yeah, instead they're meeting up in Muskoka or Huntsville. So the lazy fat trader of ours, Doug Ford, Ontario Premier, is too lazy to meet the premiers in Toronto. So they're going to go up to the cottage and chill out in the nice, beautiful $1 million cottages up there. And discuss Canada's economy while we're stuck here working our asses off. And meanwhile, people are getting killed on the street, and not a word from Doug Ford. So they're meeting up in Huntsville. Prime Minister's going to be there Tuesday. They're going to talk about their strategy before this August 1st deadline with Trump and the tariffs. But, I have no confidence in them. They can't even keep their people safe. They're going to negotiate with Donald Trump. So, and, look at the money they're spending, the deficits already projected with this crew. Yeah, big problems. And then another interesting story is that Tamara, Lich, and Barber are coming up for sentencing on their mischief trial. It looks like the Crown's, really wants to make an example of them. And they want to give them like a good prison, we're talking years, which is ridiculous. The fact that they're even discussing years on a sentencing here is ridiculous. And Pierre Poilievre is getting a lot of flack for not really saying anything about it. Mark Carney, we already know what he thinks about it. He's prosecuting the thing, his government. But Pierre doesn't want to say anything, and a lot of people are saying, "Oh, why doesn't he say anything to defend the convoy, and which helped him get the leadership, to be quite honest, when Aaron O'Toole didn't want to meet with the truckers, that basically sealed his fate, and Pierre stepped in. And a lot of people are saying Pierre can't talk about it because of the legal proceedings, so we'll see what he says. Heading into a by-election, too, in Alberta, so it should be interesting how that affects it. And those are the main things today. Bunch of other little things. So the first one, this kid's mess. This 14-year-old kid. There was videos of him being all gangsta, and then he ends. There it is right here. I know we're not supposed to show his picture, but oh well. So they caught him, but there's him showing all sorts of things. He does an interview saying why, basically giving a play-by-play of the murder, which is crazy. Like, these kids these days are dumb. They'll do anything on social media. Like, pretty sure that's admissible in court. So anyway, I saw this post here. Daniel Thierry. And he's kind of describing what we're going through right now. It was a pretty good description, I thought. Anarcho-tyranny, a state where a government fails to enforce laws against serious crimes or disorder. Yeah, I guess this kid was out on bail for stealing cars. That's what we'll look at here. So there you go. If he was being locked up like the little animal that he is, maybe this woman would be still alive, you know? So you hear this all the time. So anarcho-tyranny, a state where a government fails to enforce laws against serious crimes or disorder, while simultaneously imposing excessive control or punishment on minor infractions on law-abiding citizens. So that's the tyranny. So, yeah, you have all these non-citizens getting preferential treatment by the justice system, and then you have the white supremacist fight clubs getting like CSIS and RCMP and CBC doing all these exposés on them. So it's basically anarcho-tyranny. Yes, it's horrible. I don't think that'll last long. It'll be something's got to break on that anarcho-tyranny thing. I'm getting a little worked up on this kid, but I was like, fuck this little animal, because I don't care how hard your life's been or this or that. When you start taking down seniors in parking lot of a grocery store, yeah, you're pretty well not fit for society. I don't care. I don't owe you any. I don't owe you anything, and I don't care about your excuses. And we've seen his behavior. Like, how many of these guys are running around Toronto? Like, I want to visit Toronto. I don't want to bring my kids to this jungle. Okay. So they arrested him. I said, I wonder how long it'll take for this feral animal. I don't really like him at all. To get bail. It's like, Canada's fucked. Yeah, let's see how long it'll take before this kid's set. And you know, if he gets bail, they're going to have a condition on him, like stay off social media. Because he's a dummy, and he'll go right. The first thing he'll do is go on social media once he gets bail. And they'll probably do a fundraiser for the little bastard. I haven't heard anything about his parents or anything. You're not going to hear anything, really, because of the Young Offenders Act. Young Offenders Act. Okay, so yeah, we'll see how long it takes him to get bail. So they arrested him. But before they arrested him, he did all an interview. We're gonna see it right now. His name, Kamani Wint. Jamaican, according to Grok, it could be Jamaican origin. It's like, why the hell this Jamaican stuff? So, another third world shithole. Sorry, Jamaica. Why do we have all these? Why do we want to turn Canada into a third world shithole? Why do we want to turn Ontario into a third world shithole? And why do we want to turn Toronto into a third world? Well, Toronto is a third world shithole. Like, look at this shit, man. How many of these guys are running around Toronto? How many thousands of these little... Let's see this. Yeah, we got big problems here. So that's him. So this is a lot of videos like this on TikTok. So great, great news for Toronto. Okay, the young person wanted for the murder has been arrested. Okay. So this is the funny. His name and photograph can no longer be published, which is retarded. Like it was literally plastered all over social media. So it's like, good luck taking it down. But the news, the official news, has to go by it. And I said, after looking at the stupid CBC story on the fight clubs, so if a few white dudes want to go get a fight club going, I'm pretty sure that's allowed in the Constitution of the Canadian government. So I don't want to hear another story about white supremacist fight clubs after something like this. Like, this is ridiculous. This is animal behavior. And it's only getting worse. And I'm not trying to, I'm just saying with my own eyes here. So when CSIS and RCMP and CBC are spending so much time bugging white guys, and this is going on, something's fishy going on. So here's this interview. Full interview surfaces with 14-year-old murderer who stabbed a 71-year-old woman to death for her car keys. Full interview in the comments below. Look at this little punk. Who knows if they'll take this down? Who cares? Mm-hmm. Why isn't this playing? Yeah.
Some people are asking like, yo, that you should turn yourself in and things like this. Like, how do you feel about the people telling you like to turn yourself in?
Broski, fam. At the end of the day, they're just man that they're not making their change and all side like me. You see what I'm saying? Broski, I'm out here
Mm.
making my bands. I'm gonna send you some pictures of me with my rollie, my chain and shit, Broski. These niggas don't have what I
Mm.
have. Get that in your fucking head. What the fuck?
Yeah, I can't lie though. There's some gal in the chat. They're saying that you get it in, like you get your bread in. You know what I'm
Yo,
saying?
body, fam. What happened?
No,
So look at this guy. You could hear everybody in the background. Man, it's bad. Like, what the hell? I don't even know what the hell language he's talking. Like, how is this guy adding anything to the country? Nothing. They're not adding anything. That's the answer.
there were some people
What
there in
the
the live.
fuck
They're
is
saying
happening
that
in the
you're
back,
getting in.
bro?
What?
Some people are saying that you're getting in. You know what I'm saying? You make your bread and you
Yeah,
shine. You
Broski,
know what I'm
Broski,
saying?
fam. The man them are not doing this for no reason. And fam, Broski, I didn't even mean to fucking kill the old lady. Oh, wow, God.
Hmm.
I was trying to get the V from her as a free car so man them could whip it and do one, two things in it. But fam, it went left. Cause yo, she didn't give me the keys, so I yoked her. And then yo, I yoked her and I got the keys.
Idiot thing.
And then the feds came out. I had to cut as soon as they came out. So like,
So,
it's an
so
idiot
the
thing.
so the feds were already on the scene
No,
when
no,
all that
no.
happened.
All I want, no, somebody came outside, yelled, and then I caught, and then
Oh.
they caught the fed.
The feds, I'm saying, assume is the cops.
Anyways, yeah, what happened?
Yo.
And then from there you just said fuck
What
it. I'm
happened?
gonna stay. From there you just said fuck it. I'm gonna stay on the run.
Yeah, low key, low key.
Yeah, that's happened, bro. Like, were you like? Cause I know slip up can
Fucked
happen
up, man.
when when the alleged stabbing happened. Did you like feel any type of remorse, or were you like scared when that happened? Like,
Broski,
how did you
all
feel, or
walk gone.
were
All
you
walk
kind of
gone. I
angry?
poked. Yo, fam, all walk gone. I poked. Yo, fam, all walk gone. I poked her. I caught, and fam, I wasn't even scared.
Oh my god, idiot thing.
What an idiot, man. What a
What
fucking
happened when
moron.
that whole thing happened, bro? Like, were you like? Cause I know slip up can happen when when the alleged stabbing happened, did you like feel any type of remorse, or were you like scared when that happened? Like,
Broski,
Yeah, we gotta. This guy's gotta go.
and when when you got released the first time, like, did you have any like
He's talking about the bail.
release orders from the police and shit?
yeah, we did. I did still.
My and what's next? Because I can't lie, I've been playing GTA.
How?
And when when you got released the first time, like, did you have any like release orders from the police and shit?
Yeah, we did. I did still.
My and what's next? Because I can't lie, I've been playing GTA.
How?
And when when you got released the first time, like, did you have any like release orders from the police and shit?
Yeah, we did. I did still.
Anyway, I don't want to waste any more time on this guy. Like, I don't want to listen to his voice, but the kid, he can't even talk English, man. And he's stabbing grandmas and acting like he's all tough and gangster, looking at his stupid mask. Man, this is a problem because I'm telling you right now, there's lots of this kind of thing, and they're coming every year. So, you know, it doesn't make sense to wait until you're all getting stabbed. Once they kill all the old people, then they'll go after your next subgroup. He yoked her. She didn't give me the keys, so I yoked her. Oh my God! You know that can be used against you. Doesn't matter. He's gonna get such I bet you anything they'll give him a light sentence. In the States, they would have put this guy away forever. So he's out on bail for stealing cars at the time of the murder. Remains at large. Okay, not anymore, but so a lot of reaction. 14-year-old scumbag talking about murdering 71-year-old grandmother. She didn't give me the keys, so I yoked her. Should never walk free in Canada again. Deport his whole family. Yeah. I haven't even heard anything. Was any parents of this guy? Okay. So. Rational Post says, can you imagine what CBC would do with this story if these were white kids? They would like be far right fascists, extremists. Yeah. So it's ridiculous. They go after a bunch of guys in a gym, and meanwhile this is all over TikTok. They could do a story on that. How Canada's being turned into a third world shithole. I think that's probably a more relevant story than more relevant story than the white dudes taking a little self-defense course. Because priorities. And so fat trader Doug Ford hasn't said jack about this attack because he has helped turn Ontario into a third world shithole. Like, why is he can't say anything? Because he's part of the problem. He knows too. Okay. Bragging about it on Instagram Live. I can't believe that, man. Funny. Come to Canada where immigrants can rape your children and murder your elderly and be released on bail so their records don't reflect how dangerous they are. But political prisoners will be hunted down relentlessly for mischief. Canada is a shithole. So yeah, while Tamara, Lich, and Chris Barber await sentencing, these guys are, running rampant across the GTA. And our trader leaders don't want to do anything about it. They want to let more in. How many of these animals are running around the GTA? We need the Delta Force. We need to make some Delta Force. Just like the old days. And go around and crack some heads if necessary. Because what else are you going to do with these guys? None of this bail business. Got to crack some heads business. Deport him. Try him as an adult. See how tough he acts then. So, we're going to follow this story, but I'm sure they'll try and bury it. Just like, remember this other senior, actually, a month or two ago, was gardening in front of her own house, and some kid stabbed her, like of course, young offender, whatever. And so we haven't heard that story either. I'm sure it's coming up for trial. Okay, so the next, Ontario is overrun by third world criminals, it seems, judging by the daily news. And like I said, hopefully it's just the news, but it seems like it gets worse every day. But all these crimes stories are going on the news there. Our premiers are going to meet in Huntsville to talk about the economy. So I'm not, like, they're so lazy they can't even move from the cottage. They're just going to say, screw it, we'll stay in the cottage and pretend like we're working. So they're set for a 3-day meeting. Canada's premier set for a 3-day meeting in Ontario with trade top of mind. Yes. It's like, how many meetings have they had since the election? They've had like 1 million meetings. Our trader leaders are meeting in cottage country to discuss how they can further destroy Canada. That seems like that's about all they accomplish. How many meetings do they need before something actually gets accomplished? Like Thomas Sowell said, people who enjoy meetings should not be in charge of anything. Shit. They've had a lot of meetings. Okay. This is the thing, going into the meeting, Doug Ford wants to look like this statesman. Like he's like Captain Canada or whatever. And this stupid National Post story, oh my God. Doug Ford doctrine. We have to flex our muscles. Exclusive interview. The Premier is bullish on Ontario. He's bullish. Yeah, but he won't say anything about grandmas getting knifed in the parking lots. Premier is bullish on Ontario, on Canada, on Mark Carney. Ford says Ontario's ambitious plan will wake up President Trump real quick. Like, oh my God. I don't know, man. This is what we're going to have to listen to for the next 3 days? Doug has always been a few tomatoes short of a thick sauce. When will he realize Trump couldn't care less? Yes. I think we're screwed. Totally screwed. Mark Carney, he's a central banker, so he's printing money like crazy, but not for us. He'll print it for him and his buddies. All right. So yeah, we'll watch that. See what comes out of those meetings ahead of the August 1st deadline, because Trump says August 1st he's going to slap us with tariffs. All right, so we're talking about all this crime, BS, third world crime, because that's what it is. It's animal behavior. I don't care what you say. I've seen a lot of other cases. I've seen like cases of people getting chopped up here in London, near London here. So we'll go to some other crime, the crime of mischief against Tamara, Lich, and Barber. So they're on their way to Ottawa. They're going to get sentenced. for their mischief charge. They've been found guilty of mischief for the roles in the 2022 Freedom Convoy protest. So the question is, there's a few interesting angles to this. Like Chris Barber's from Saskatchewan, and Tamara Lich from Alberta, and they're being prosecuted by the elites in Ottawa for being embarrassed, because they kind of embarrassed them in front of the whole world, really, and they really want to put the screws to them. So it's kind of like the symbolic nature of it, like Ottawa going against a Saskatchewan resident and an Alberta resident at the time when both provinces are kind of have a lot of separatist sentiment going. So the symbolism's there if they go after them hard. But Pierre, who's running in the by-election August 18th in Alberta, where I think a lot of separatists live in that riding, has been very silent on this. He's getting criticism for it. And he's using the excuse, oh, it's a legal proceeding, so I don't want to comment. But technically, he's not the prime minister. He's not a minister. He's not even an MP, so pretty sure he can comment. Like, unless you're just a coward, So it'll be interesting to see. Okay, let's say his excuse now is, oh, I'm not going to comment because it's still, the sentence hasn't been handed out yet, and I don't want to be interfering with the judge. Okay, fine, whatever. Let's just take him for that. Let's give him that. But when the sentence comes, if he doesn't give a really good response to it, like if it's tone deaf to Alberta and Saskatchewan, who support these people, let's say, and the convoy people, if it's it's going to be interesting how he handles it. He fumbles a lot of things. I'm sure he'll fumble this too. But people are criticizing him, and like you say, well, what? You can't really criticize Carney because he's the one, his government's prosecuting this case, so we already know where he stands, and we are criticizing him. But Pierre is the opposition, and does he stand for freedom, or is he just going to sit like he usually did, like during COVID when he didn't say a word, and COVID was the big one, the mandates, and then other issues too. But anyway. Rupa, it's a travesty of justice when the state seeks to make an example out of two individuals who engage in peaceful protest when dangerous criminals get routinely paroled in Canada. It's disappointing to see the CPC and particularly Pierre Poilievre, who supported the truckers' protest and gained a following from it, is now completely silent. I don't know what she's saying there. When you say you want to make Canada the freest country in the world, it starts with speaking up against these injustices by calling them out. Yeah, like it's a BS trial. The mischief, most cases, they be getting a ticket, or a suspended sentence, whatever. So he should be saying something, probably. It's different if you're a minister. You get in trouble if you say something. He's not even an MP. So I think and one of his MPs actually blasted the proceedings, and he's an elected MP. So if anything, he's putting himself out there. So I think it's just an indication of Pierre. He's just not a principled. He's a politician who does whatever his managers tell him to do, and it's showing here. These are the times when you have to show leadership. So he's awfully silent. So we'll see what Pierre says when the sentence is handed down. I'm sure he'll say something. He'll probably have some prepared statement. Okay. All right. So yeah, it just shows the priorities of our leadership when they go after these two individuals. Well, GTR and other Canadian cities turn into third world jungles, and you know, it's just total lack of priority or incompetence, traitor. I don't know, being traitors. I don't know what they're doing, and that's all right. So that's what we have to look forward to this week. The premier's meeting. See what this kid, if they give this little punk bail, and what the sentence for Tamara, Lich, and Chris Barber. Hopefully they don't. If any, they should get. I mean, they've been convicted already, so at the very worst, they should get a suspended sentence. They shouldn't get no jail. If they get any jail, that's bullshit. So that's about it for tonight. Try to ignore all the bad news and just have a great Sunday night. And I'll be back on Wednesday, July 23rd, I believe. Yeah, 23rd. So until then, we'll see you then. Until then, everybody enjoy yourself. We'll see you then.